It's incredibly hot today, but I'm going out. I'm going to the NMWA, which is the National Museum of Women in the Arts. I feel like that museum doesn't get as much acclaim or visitors here. Makes sense because you do have to pay to get in. I think it's like $16 for an adult. I'm specifically going because I know they have a piece by Leonora Carrington, which I love. It's actually on one of her books and it's one of my favorite covers ever. Wait, let me show you. Like, how amazing. This is Down Below by Leonora Carrington. To be honest, I actually did not love this book, but I love her as an artist. I do want to read more of her books. I have The Hearing Trumpet by her, which also has an amazing cover. She's just an amazing artist. This piece, I think it's pronounced Crookie Hall. It's not her most famous, which is crazy. I'm wearing like a really comfortable outfit because it is going to be really hot today. I want to wear like a cool girl perfume. I think I'm going to go with Lavande 31 by Le Labo. I think people assume that this is going to smell like lavender because of the name, but to me it smells like someone's dad's body wash that's been appropriated by a really cool woman. I'm not going to spray it on me right now because my dog is right next to me, but this is what I'm wearing today. Well guys, that was very unsuccessful. I was not able to see this artwork by Leonora Carrington. However, I did see some cool sculptures by her. I think I took some videos. I did see Remedios Varo's work though, which I was not expecting. I think she was part of their exhibit, Uncanny. I'm not sure if it's part of their usual collection, but that was really exciting and unexpected. I asked the people working if they ever display Crookie Hall. They had no idea what I was talking about, but they pulled it up on their database. They said it's never been displayed and most likely it may not ever be displayed because it's a lithograph on paper. Apparently that's very fragile. What? So then like the public will never get to see it? It's just hidden away? That seems like such a waste. But then one of the ladies was like, oh, we just acquired it in 2023 though, so maybe we don't even have it yet. Which also is interesting. What does that mean? Like, does it take that long to move a piece of art over or acquire it? I'm not sure. So interesting. The art world is so interesting. Anyways, they did write down this email for me. I think it's their curator, and they said it's worth requesting it to be displayed in the future, maybe. So I'm going to email this person. I did, however, pick up The Complete Stories of Leonora Carrington. Down Below is, I'm pretty sure, a memoir. It's autobiographical. The reason why I did not get along with this one, I remember, is because I was having a very anxious week due to a work project, which I feel like other people can relate. Whenever you're feeling very anxious or nervous, you have a lot going on, I feel like that kind of taints your current read. I would be interested in rereading this one because the cover is just too iconic, this piece of artwork. And then I could not say no to this coffee table book. I love women artists who do surrealism. Like, they're just the best. They get it. I also walked past a bookstore that sells used books. So I got Patrick Modiano's Suspended Sentences. I'm pretty sure this is a collection of 3 novellas or short stories, long short stories. That was a steal. And then I also got, I'm gonna butcher this name, Strange Hotel by Imir McBride. She wrote A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing, which did I read that one? I don't think I did. It kind of sounds like a woman who's a ghost haunting a hotel, which sounds right up my alley. I also went into Lululemon because I'm interested in buying more workout clothes. I don't have much. Now that I'm working out regularly, I feel like I need more. Otherwise, I have to constantly do my laundry. So I just went into Lululemon to see like the vibe and the prices. I've only shopped there in Asia, but I wanted to tell you this conversation I heard. I was asking one of the workers the differences in the leggings. So he was telling me there were two workers there. Another lady came up. I think she was like their manager or something because she was explaining the schedules to one of the girls there. Totally serious conversation. Once she finished informing her about her schedule, she asked the girl, "What is your serial killer trait?" There was like a beat, there was a pause, and then the girl was like, "Wait, what is that? What do you mean?" And the other girl, the manager, explained in a very matter-of-fact manner. For example, if people were to find out you were a serial killer, what is the trait that would make people say, "Oh yeah, that makes sense"? Is that a thing? Like, do people ask each other that? Is that like a career question? And then it got me thinking, what is mine? I'm gonna drop these books off at some random little free libraries. Not that I really disliked any of them, I just don't feel that I need to own them. Some of them I already own a copy of, so I'm giving away my extra copy. I have Rouge. I did enjoy this, it was entertaining. It did kind of lose me halfway through. I think someone else would enjoy having it. I'm partly donating it because it is a hardback and I prefer not to have those. I'm also gonna donate Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. I liked it. You can see I tabbed it a bit, but I think someone else may enjoy reading it and having it in their collection. I'm going to give away Lani by Max Porter. I already have another copy of this, which I like better. The Sympathizer by Viet Thanh Nguyen. I read this years ago, I think when it came out. But yeah, I don't ever think about it, so I'm going to donate that to someone new to read. Breakfast of Champions by Vonnegut. Didn't really like this one. I do love Slaughterhouse-Five by him and Cat's Cradle. Those are my favorite. I think someone gave this to me and it doesn't really seem like my style of book. She's compared to Donna Tartt on the back, which is interesting. Maybe I'll regret this. The Pearl by John Steinbeck. I already have a copy of this, a vintage copy. So I'm going to give away this new copy. I bought this a while ago based on someone else's recommendation, but after reading a couple pages, I don't think it's my type of book, to be honest. The subject matter isn't really for me. The Ministry of Time, this is a hardback. The publisher actually sent this to me. Who published this? Avid Reader Press. They also sent me the paperback when it came out, so I'm going to keep the paperback and donate the hardback. Western Lane by Chetna Maru. I actually did really like this book, but it is a hardback, so I'm going to donate that. And then I have 2 copies of The Master and Margarita by Bulgakov. The reason why I'm donating these 2, I actually had 3 copies of The Master and Margarita, so I'm keeping 1 copy. This translation is by, I think, Bergen and O'Connor, which I think this version is the one that people prefer. This translation is by Glennie. I showed this in a video and a lot of people told me that his translation is based on the censored version, so it's not complete. Although from all of the modern covers I've seen of The Master and Margarita, this one is definitely my favorite, so I'm kind of sad to give it away. But maybe someone else will appreciate that. And then lastly, Kairos by Jenny Erpenbeck. I tapped it a bit, but I did not enjoy this book, if I'm honest, so I'm gonna give it away. I know other people who did really enjoy it, so hopefully it falls into the hands of someone who does. Always fun to donate books. I wish I could find out where these end up and who ends up reading them, because, you know, someone could take them and then donate it again. That's cool. It's a cool thought. Whoa. Is it just me, or does my hair look really dark? That's strange. I didn't do anything to it. Let's have a book chat. I think since I last gave a reading update, I have finished these 3 books, and I'm currently reading these 3. In the last vlog I uploaded when I was in New York, I was still reading My Phantoms by Gwendoline Riley. I have now finished this, and I can definitively say now that I don't really remember it. Now that I'm looking at it, I remember it more, but it was definitely a forgettable one for me. It was by no means a bad read. I remember enjoying it while reading it, but forgettable. While I was in New York, I also started Long Island Compromise by Taffy, Brodesser-Akner, and I read this one with Emily. She picked it out when we were in New York together. This book. I really disliked it until about maybe here, page 400. If you don't know, this is a family drama. It kind of explores trauma and how it's passed down in families. So the patriarch of the family, he gets kidnapped and held for ransom. At the time, he had 2 young sons, very young. Of course, they were kind of protected from it and knowing about what happened. But as they grow up, you can see the effect it still had on them because their parents were deeply affected by it. And at the time of the kidnapping, the mother was pregnant, I believe, with the daughter, Jenny. And even though she wasn't even there for it, she's also greatly impacted by the family trauma. I really disliked the sons, particularly one of them, and the story spent a large amount of time with him and the other son. I started liking the story more when it finally switched to the daughter's perspective, and I liked it even more when we finally got to hear from the father himself. I will say though, I did really like the ending. I would characterize the ending as a huge FU, and I kind of liked it. I'll talk more about this in my reading wrap up for June. After that, I went on to read and finish Blessings by, someone told me how to pronounce this, Chukwuebuka Ibeh. This was about a young boy growing up in Nigeria. I think the time frame is like 90s, early 2000s, and then the story ends in 2013 when Nigeria makes gay marriage illegal. So the story follows the son. His father catches him having an intimate moment with a boy that is hired to, I guess, be like an assistant in their household. The father sends him off to a boys' boarding school. And then the story from there alternates between the boy's point of view and the mother's point of view. I did enjoy this. I thought it was very heartbreaking. There is a point in the book where there is a time skip. And after that time skip, the book felt suddenly very different. And the character himself felt very different, so that was a bit jarring to me. I did enjoy this. I was not wowed by it though. I thought it was okay. And then, I don't know, after reading these 3 okay books in a row, I finally realized, why am I reading these books? I don't know if you guys were around at the time, but at the beginning of the year, I talked about my New Year's reading resolutions, and I said I wanted to read more contemporary book releases, books that were being published today. One of my reasons for that is, and I guess the literary fiction space on like Book Talk, Bookstagram, I feel a bit of FOMO because people are reading new releases. I wanted to keep pace and I wanted to know what they were talking about. Another reason is because I'm making content about books and reviewing books, I felt pressure to review books that people are more interested in, or what I perceive people to be most interested in, which are newer releases, contemporary literary fiction, even though that's not typically my main area of interest when it comes to reading. And I don't know why I thought that, because I did kind of build my bookish community by reviewing books that are not as well known. Magda Szabo, Barbara Comyns. So I don't know why I have strayed from that. That's what I prefer reading. Not that there's anything wrong with these books, not at all. Like, it's subjective. Everyone has their own preferences, their own taste. After thinking about it, I realized, you know what, I'm just gonna read what I know I love. So then I picked up my trusty Barbara Comyns Sisters by a River, and this is what I'm currently reading, and I'm loving it. I just know this is going to be a favorite. I love Barbara Comyns so much. She's such an underrated author. Her writing is so creepy in an understated manner. Creepy, unsettling, very evocative, but she does it so casually. And what I've noticed with this one in particular, this is a really hilarious book. I am not someone who laughs out loud while reading often. I think the one other book that has made me laugh is The Idiot by Elif Batuman. This book is just so bizarre and sharp that I just can't help but chuckle while reading it. I'm loving it. It's about a group of sisters growing up next to a river. In fact, I might try to finish this today. I think it's about 120 pages. I'm also alternating between reading and listening to Not a Nation of Immigrants by Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz. I'm on page 96. This book basically explores settler colonialism in America, and this notion that the idea of America being a nation of immigrants is very misleading because America does have a history of excluding people of color. I think when the American government decided that immigration was going to be a federal issue, the first law that was passed was the Chinese Exclusion Act. So when we have presidents like John F. Kennedy promoting like, we're a land of immigrants, we embrace immigrants, it is kind of whitewashing America's history. John F. Kennedy took on that slogan because he is a son of immigrants. However, the distinction though is he is a white immigrant. So far, it's a very factual, matter-of-fact read. I can't say I'm enjoying it, but I'm appreciating learning more about America's history from it. I'm going through this pretty slowly. We'll see if I'm able to finish it this month. I highly doubt it. So Emily just finished The Long Island Compromise and we were talking about it, so I got to pick our next book club read. I decided to go with Elizabeth Taylor's A Game of Hide and Seek. I love Elizabeth Taylor. I love Angel, and I love Mrs. Palfrey at the Claremont. I think it's about unrequited love. I'm not someone who usually reads romance. I don't know if I would categorize this as a romance, but I kind of was in the mood. I was peckish for a romantic book, for some yearning. It's really hard to come by well-written yearning. When Emily read the blurb, she was like, this kind of sounds like Atonement. I did read Atonement by Ian McEwan. I was probably way too young to read it. Guys, if you guys are on the East Coast right now, there's a heat dome, which it's something about like hot air being trapped and it just gets hotter and hotter. So we're basically in a microwave right now. People who love summer and heat, like, can you explain to me why? Maybe hearing about your mindset and opinion about it can hopefully affect mine. It's evening right now, so I'm gonna eat dinner, do some chores, and then I'm gonna read, and I might check in again. I'm actually gonna have a change of plans. I'm gonna go to IKEA randomly, so as you can see, my bookshelf is it's getting quite busy. So I wanna add another shelf here, and if you have the Billy bookshelves, you can just buy one of these shelves, like, and add it on. So I'm gonna go drive to IKEA. I know I'm gonna get stuck in traffic, and I actually live really far from this IKEA location. When is there not traffic in this area, honestly? I'm wearing Debaser, which is a great scent for when it's really hot, such as today. Should I do a glass shelf? Let's try these cinnamon rolls. Surely these can't be that good. They smell so good. I think they're good. Do you guys see I'm wearing a clip in my hair? I always have to take it out when I'm driving, so it's uncomfortable. I got the shelf. I decided to only get the longer one instead of one for this section too. I think it'll be cool to have them imbalanced. I just came back from a walk and it's unbelievably, disgustingly hot outside. It's almost 9 p.m. It's still light outside and it's still like 95 degrees. I think it was 98 earlier. Wow. It's so hot outside, I'm unsure how to function, but I need to go get my bangs cut. For my perfume, I'm gonna wear Posies Innocence. This is a delicious peach coconut milk scent. It's great for summer if you're into gourmands. Where's my car? I don't remember where I parked, which is great. I had a very unsuccessful day. As you can see, my bangs are still long. I did not go to my hair appointment. I live about 17 minutes, less than 20 minutes from the hair salon. I left an hour early because I wanted to get a matcha and read in a cafe beforehand, but I was stuck in traffic for over an hour. And usually there isn't traffic at this time going in that direction. So after about 30 minutes of not moving, I had 30 minutes left to get to the appointment. The traffic did not seem like it was getting any better. I just called and canceled. I really hate being late, especially if it's for someone else's business. It was a complimentary bang trim because between haircuts, they let you get 2 bang trims for free if you have bangs. I just felt bad and embarrassed, and now I have long bangs. They were very nice about it though and just told me to reschedule. But honestly, I think I'm gonna cut them myself today because they're kind of driving me crazy. To make my over an hour drive worth it, I decided to go to DuPont Circle. I wanted to go to Second Story Books to see their selection. They had first edition Elizabeth Taylor books. I also went to Kramer's, but I didn't film much in there. Sorry to Kramer's, but it's probably my least favorite bookstore. I just got some used books from Second Story Books. Anyways, it's sweltering outside, so I'm gonna go home and shower. Hey guys, it's the next day. I think I'm gonna go to the National Cathedral to do some reading. I really want to finish Sisters by a River today. I only have about maybe 50 pages left. I do want to get started on my book club read, which is A Game of Hide and Seek by Elizabeth Taylor. So thought I would have myself a cute evening at the National Cathedral. I do also want to do some work on my computer, and it is supposed to thunderstorm tonight. Hopefully it doesn't happen or I end up missing that. We'll see. As for my perfume, I kind of want to wear Dave, but I think it's way too hot outside for that. I don't want to offend anyone. Maybe I'll wear Juice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna wear Juice. This is a nice one for a hot day. Just realized that I need 2 of these because this middle shelf doesn't move. So ideally I would add 1 shelf up here in this section and then another shelf in this section, which means I need to go back to IKEA before I can do this. I did end up finishing Sisters by a River by Barbara Comyns, and I loved it. It was so funny to me. It's a very odd story. It wasn't like a linear plot. It was more snapshots. I loved it. I ate it up. A lot of her books are no longer in print, so you can only get them used. So I ordered a few from used bookstores, and also eBay, Etsy, and I think Books I used. And then I also have Juniper Tree I have yet to read, but NYRB publishes that, so that's not out of print. You look very comfortable. It's thunderstorming, so Benson is unhappy. He doesn't like the sound. You okay? You okay? Good boy. Am I crazy, or does this sentence make no sense? I keep rereading it, trying to decipher the meaning. Maybe I'm just tired. Benson is laying here because he's scared of the thunder. What? Go lay in your bed. You don't want to? Meanwhile, she's knocked out without a care in the world. I want to be like Lucy, a hedonist. So I decided to order the extra 3 IKEA shelves from online because I just don't want to drive all the way out there again. I'm going to add the 1 long shelf that I have now. I think I'm going to add it to the upper section, and then when the other shelves come, I'll add those as I go. I really want a Caesar salad wrap. I think I figured it out pretty much. I think I'll keep my NYRBs here. Maybe add another NYRB shelf above this. It's looking beautiful, guys. It's looking packed. I don't think it's worth alphabetizing my books right now because of the smaller shelf next to them. I'll have to redo those anyways when those shelves come in. These are already in alphabetical order, but I had some double stacked. So basically all of this needs to get rearranged. Okay, I'm now gonna put all of these back up on the shelf. Okay, I just did this 1 shelf of completely random books. These are all NYRBs in alphabetical order. I did put my Archipelago books here. These are Dorothy, and then these are mostly my vintage books. And then I also put my Toni Morrisons over here. Let's go ahead and fill this top shelf now. Okay, I've done as much as I can handle right now. They're absolutely not in alphabetical order. Honestly, I don't think they will ever be in alphabetical order because when you have this many books and you add just 1 to the collection, you basically have to shift the entire thing to have it stay alphabetical. It's nearly an impossible feat. Anyways, I do want to show you guys some book collections that I collect. These are Archipelago. I really love the striking covers, and they are square books. These are usually translated fiction, and then we have here Dorothy Project, which I feel are a bit more, I would say, hip and cool. So we have The Wall Creeper, Promising Young Woman, and then my biggest collection of books would be my New York Review books. I have quite a lot of them. In fact, I was looking at the sale that they were doing recently. I'm not sure if it's still on, but NYRB, they do sales throughout the year. So if you're not interested in buying them used, I would definitely wait for those sales. You can save a lot of money on them. I would say I think I have all of the ones that I'm personally interested in reading. which is quite impressive. I think I should count them. I'm also a huge fan of the Virago Modern Classics. Obviously, these are no longer modern. I love the selection that they've published. They have Barbara Comyns, they have Elizabeth Taylor, Sylvia Townsend Warner, just great authors. And I do like the covers that they've chosen for them. We have my latest prized possession, the Skin Chairs. This is a good one. That's How It Was by Maureen Duffy. This is a lovely one, The Soul of Kindness by Elizabeth Taylor. And a lot of these Virago titles are no longer in print, which is a shame, but I'm happy I can own some of them, like this one, Elizabeth Taylor at Mrs. Lippencoat's. And then the last set that I collect regularly, I'm always on the lookout for, the Penguin 20th Century Classics. These do have the mint blue spine. I don't know, I just love the pictures that they've used, and this white box, the font, it just does something to me. So when I visit vintage shops, used bookstores, I'm always on the lookout for these in particular. I do also really love these. These are the Penguin English Library. However, a lot of these are a bit more difficult to track down because I know these are popularly collected by people, which is awesome, but a bit more competitive, I feel. I have this awesome cover of V by Thomas Pynchon. I'm just waiting for my lip bro era to start to delve into this one. I also love this one, Virginia Woolf's A Haunted House. This was a steal. Yeah, I hope that was interesting. Just a little bit about my books and what I like to collect. Hey guys, today is Sunday. I did a lot of reading this morning of A Game of Hide and Seek by Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, the writer, not the actress. I feel like I always have to clarify that. I want to try to finish this today or tomorrow so that I can include it in my June books video. I think I can do it. I have about maybe 140 pages. I'll read more tonight and then read more tomorrow morning. And let's see, Lucy's having a little snooze. I actually need to remove the sheets off this bed to wash them, but I feel bad now. I just read a comment where someone said they love when I include my perfume in vlogs, so I'm gonna do that now. I'm not wearing a perfume. I'll show you guys my little setup right now. These are some perfumes I've regularly been using. I think I'm gonna wear Queening today. Since today is Sunday, I'm just doing chores, laundry. I kind of want to smell fresh and clean, but also cozy, and this is exactly that. The best vanilla laundry scent. I really miss my vanilla gourmand perfumes. I can't wait until the weather is permissible. To be clear, I would be wearing all of my vanilla perfumes, but I don't want to offend anyone's nose, so I am trying to stick to more light and airy perfumes for the summer. I'm actually going to spray this later because I worry it could bother Lucy. Should I go get a Caesar salad wrap? Or should I just order one and be lazy? They gave me a cookie instead of a brownie. That's okay. This kind of looks like a beer, but it's black tea. Mmm. The description of this guy sounds like a pale Timothy Chalamet, but rude. I'm sure Timothy is polite. Hey guys, I actually read outside for a little bit, which was nice. I feel like the heat is bearable when you're not moving. I made it to page 211. So this is a romance. somewhat. It centers around two characters, Harriet and Vesey, or is it Vesey? I feel Vesey sounds better. Or maybe it's Vise. I did look up the name and I think it comes from Normandy or something, so maybe it's French. It starts with them as childhood friends. Actually, I think they're about 18 years old. They have a crush on one another, or at least Harriet has a crush on Vesey. I don't really know how Vesey feels because we don't really hear from his perspective. We mostly just hear from Harriet's, but Vesey is a very aloof, nonchalant man. I think I had mentioned how my friend from reading the blurb said that this sounded like Atonement. Not at all. The man in Atonement was the opposite of nonchalant. Every now and then, though, he will display an act of thoughtfulness, something kind. The bare minimum, though, nothing crazy. And of course, that just makes her crazy. Anyways, the story continues until they're older and in different parts of life. They meet again. At least that's where I'm at right now. I do really love Elizabeth Taylor's writing style. She reminds me a lot of Elizabeth Bowen. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I have about 100 pages. Maybe I'll finish it tonight. I am going to go on a walk right now. On my walk, I'm going to listen to my audiobook, Not a Nation of Immigrants. I have it on Libby. Still not that far into it. I'm on page 96 now, which may be the exact same spot I was in the last time I did a check-in. I'm back from my walk. I was talking to Emily about this book. We were discussing the man in it, one of the men, and she was telling me how this one part where it described his foot kind of gave her the ick. I went back to that part to see, and basically his foot is described as like skinny and pale, maybe? The grip that pale-footed men have on some people. What is it about them?